Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, is the Twitter mob upset, okay? Well, what is the Twitter mob upset about? Well, they're upset about everything, okay? But this story, they are upset about Brittney Griner's former coach, okay, from her college days playing at LSU, whom refuses to actually comment on the situation, okay? A lot of people have spoken out in support of Brittney Griner, saying that she should be free, that she's wrongfully detained, which is not true. She's not wrongfully detained. She admitted guilt to the crime that she committed. But regardless, those facts don't matter. They just want Brittney Griner out of jail because they don't believe that she should be held responsible for her actions because of her skin color and who she likes to sleep with, right? So with that being said, if you are associated with Brittney Griner in any way, you are expected to come out and to speak on the situation and show support, even though I don't think that speaking on the situation and showing support is helpful. I actually think that it is not helpful in this situation. I actually think it makes things worse, okay? But the woke revolutionaries don't really realize that because they're all about getting their woke virtue signaling points, not about actually trying to help the situation get better. So let's talk about it again, because the Twitter mob is upset. They're saying that her silence on this situation, Brittney Griner's former coach's silence on this situation, speaks volumes. Okay, it speaks volumes, right? So let's get into it. Kim Mulkey gave a terse no comment when she was asked about Brittney Griner's detainment in Russia. Everybody knows why Brittney Griner is detained. We don't really need to go into that. Mulkey coach Griner during their years at Baylor, but the relationship between the two has been non-existent since Mulkey was asked by the Daily Advisor's Corey Diaz to comment on Griner's detention. Quote, "I just want to get your thoughts on the Brittney Griner," Diaz said. "I don't think I've seen anything from you on that and you won't," Mulkey replied before Diaz finished the question. So let's go ahead and watch this exchange.
And how would you describe that process of putting that collective group together? And then, too, I just wanted to get your thoughts on Brittney Griner's situation. And I don't think I've seen anything from you on that. And just can you?
And you won't. I'll answer the first one for you.
And how would you?
Yeah. So that pissed off the woke. So we're going to get into their reactions. But again, here we are. We have the media asking a question that has really nothing to do with LSU basketball outside of the fact that an alumni got rightfully arrested and detained in Russia. Like, what does Brittney Griner have to do with the current team? Nothing. But see, this guy is asking the question because this is what mainstream media does. They ask people these questions as a show of, well, are you going to fall in line with the mob? Right? Are you going to fall in line with the narrative? Are you going to come out here and support the liberal cause, right? The super liberal agenda. And this coach is like, no, right? No, I'm not going to do that. Just because she coached Brittney Griner doesn't mean that she needs to comment or speak on the situation. And we've seen the mainstream liberal media do this same exact thing before. For example, when it comes to the vaccine, asking people their vaccination status. Are you vaccinated? Right? Things like that. Again, they want to ask you that. They want you to speak on it. So again, it's a show of support for the super liberal agenda. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, do I know if this coach feels like Brittney Griner is rightfully detained or that Brittney Griner broke the law, therefore she should be in prison? I have no clue. But I'm not going to sit here and bash the coach and judge the coach for her silence. Because ultimately, she could think that maybe me speaking on the situation doesn't help. In my opinion, I don't think speaking on the situation helps. I actually think that it makes it worse. I think all these people that are speaking so loudly about this, all they're really doing is giving Russia more leverage. Because it puts more pressure on the Biden administration to get Brittney Griner out as fast as possible, which means that Russia can ask for more, right? They can ask for more. They can ask for anything they want. So I think it's actually smart for these woke revolutionaries to chill out, let the situation kind of die down a bit, and then there's less pressure from the Biden administration to get Brittney Griner out, which probably gives them better negotiating leverage as well. But as long as these people keep whining and crying about the situation that Brittney Griner put herself into, okay, she is responsible for what she brings into a foreign country, following their laws. I think that that's just going to prolong her staying in the Russian prison. But with that being said, regardless of what this coach thinks, I think that she has the right to say, hey, I don't really want to speak on this. I don't think that my opinion is really helpful here or whatever. But again, that's not enough. Okay, that's not enough because she coached Brittney Griner, so therefore she must speak on it. So now what's going to happen is that attention will be brought back to other things that happened while Brittney Griner was at LSU, and they're going to use that to smear this coach, just like we're going to read about right here. Mulkey's strained relationship with Griner dates back to their final season together at Baylor. When Griner was drafted in 2013 by the Phoenix Mercury, she came out as a lesbian. She waited until she left Baylor and was in the WNBA to do so. Quote, it was a recruiting thing, Griner said to ESPN, the magazine, and ESPNW in 2013. Quote, the coaches thought that if it seemed like they condoned it, people wouldn't let their kids come play for Baylor. Yeah, so again, what we have here is them now saying that, well, you know, this coach was trying to shame or to hide Brittney Griner's sexuality, right? She was ashamed of the fact that Brittney Griner was a lesbian. They thought that parents and students wouldn't like it and it would hurt their chances of getting good players. And my response to that is that, well, listen, here's the thing. What does Brittney Griner being a lesbian have to do with basketball, right? What does it have to do with basketball? I think it's a foregone conclusion that a lot of these women basketball players are probably lesbian, okay? I think that's a foregone conclusion. But her speaking out on her sexuality, what does that have to do with the play on the court? It doesn't have anything to do with it. In fact, I kind of agree if this was the policy at LSU, I agree with it. Why should we let our athletes speak out about their sexuality? Who cares? Nobody cares. Because all they really do is they use it to make a political statement. That's all it's about. It's a distraction. It's just one more thing that you got to deal with from the media. So it's better just not to deal with it at all. It's irrelevant to playing on the court, right? It's irrelevant to the play on the court. Griner's former Baylor teammates and other observers condemn Mulkey for not even mustering a minimum amount of sympathy. Queen Ebo says, quote, a player that built Baylor 2 national titles and a 40-0 record, yet her former coach refuses to say anything or simply just show any kind of support. Keep that in mind when you're choosing school. So yeah, they're trying to tell people not to go to LSU. Don't go to LSU because she's not speaking out on the Brittney Griner situation, which again, these people have no clue whether or not it makes the situation better or worse. If anything, I think that her words will probably do nothing. Chloe Jackson says, and I will say it again, silence speaks volumes. Meredith Cash says, now it is a good time as any to share that I tried several times to reach Kim Mulkey via LSU WBB about Brittney Griner, who played for her at Baylor. It became clear after many attempts that they were intentionally dodging my calls to avoid giving me no comment. Again, they don't need to comment on the situation. Why? Daniel Connolly says, Kim Mulkey was given the opportunity to say and do the absolute bare minimum about Brittney Griner and instead decided it was better to lack any semblance of a soul. Chuck Moldy says, Kim Mulkey will tolerate Brittney Griner if she can lead Baylor to an epic 40-0 season to support her in her greatest time of need. Nah, Brittney ain't even human to her. Again, it's funny how these people just assume that these words mean anything. Like they're actually going to help Brittney Griner. Again, I think most likely it is going to hurt Brittney Griner than it will help her. But hey, these people, they get mad when you don't fall in line with their woke virtue signaling here. Ashley Nicole Moss says, Kim Mulkey should be ashamed of herself. She's probably not. Being asked about Brittney Griner didn't require you to dive into politics. No, it actually does. It is overtly a political topic, right? That's what it is, a political topic. It asks you to be decent to the reason you have a national title. Could have simply wished her well. Annie Belanger says, if this is how you treat the best player you ever had, well, didn't Brittney Griner get into WNBA? I'm pretty sure that relationship was mutual, right? It was a mutual exchange. So again, they're acting like this coach owes Brittney Griner everything, right? They act like this coach should be, I don't know, crying at the podium over Brittney Griner. Bakari Sella says, she is who we thought she was. It's more than sad. She didn't even go thoughts and prayers. Mulkey didn't give a damn about BG. This is how she treats her former players. This is how she treats people. So yeah, now they're trying to smear her so that women don't come play for her. Kim Mulkey declined to comment on Brittney Griner's situation. The ex-Baylor coach has yet to make public comment. Michael Harriet says, to be fair, Mulkey has always encouraged silence. So talking about the old lesbian thing, right? Brittney Griner coming out as a lesbian while being at LSU, or the fact that she didn't come out as a lesbian at LSU, which again, to me, that's irrelevant, right? It doesn't mean anything. It's not necessary, but hey, this is what these people want, right? This is what they want. With that being said, do I know why she's not speaking on Brittney Griner's situation? I have no clue. But it's really nobody's business, including the woke revolutionaries, right? People are not required to speak out on behalf of Brittney Griner just because they are associated with her. Again, it's one thing if she was actually wrongfully detained, okay? I think that's one thing, but in this situation, that's not the case, okay? She may actually believe that Brittney Griner is rightfully detained, and you might not like what she has to say about this, right? So it's probably better that she stays silent than to hurt your feelings even more. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.